Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at this little guy in the middle. This is the blade of Halphas, but of course in my terminology, and I think in everybody else's generation 1 terminology, it is of course a third-party take on a Liokaiser bot known as Guyhawk. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to of course compare him to his original generation 1 self. Now I've got the other 5 members of the team here. You can see I'm going to do a couple of comparisons, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm going to do a much more in-depth all 6 robots, all 6 alternate modes video, as well as of course doing a combining video. But I've got a few of them out, as you can see, just to give you an idea of how he's going to scale and indeed look with the rest of them. I'm going to show you what we can do with his abundance of accessories, and I'm going to show you the fact that they've even managed to incorporate the Brain Master gimmick as well, although they've made it much easier to manipulate and indeed to, I suppose, exactly that, to do as and with what you please. Again, showing you with the original. So loads to cover in this video, so as I just start to move loads of things out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out, and also to thank Shozy, because that's where this came from, and as you can see they got it to me quickly and safely. So this is the back of the box. In fact, let's just lift it up just a little bit. They've got with these crazy names. They've called it optional armor, but it's the breast force gimmick, and again that's literally what it was called, Breastmaster's breast force gimmick. We don't call them that anymore for obvious reasons, but I'm going to show you how that all sort of works and basically what it was. There is some more product shots on the front. He comes packaged in this lovely little box. To be fair, Iron Factory boxes are fantastic. We've got a huge spear here, we've got the attachment there for the arm. He did come packaged in robot mode, and again we've got a giant attachment which is just fell out, which again is all for the huge weapons, and as I've already said, that is going to be in another video. The instructions are simple and straightforward, but again I'm going to upload a tutorial anyway, just if you want to see that. He comes with an additional 3 sets of hands, which is great. And indeed a few other weapons that he can hold in his hands as well. Now, to be honest, I don't think there's anything he can hold in this particular mode. There wasn't with any of the others. I suppose you've just got this here. This is, I suppose, the optional armor, as they're calling it. You don't necessarily need to have it on. You see, you can take it off. The landing gear comes in and out as well. They tuck into the knees, and to be fair, it's not a bad little jet. And I say little because it is really, is that focusing in? It is really sort of kind of small. To give you an idea, these are classed as legend scale figures, so some of the sizes are a little bit different, but it's not much bigger than your standard core class, which I'm sure you can make out there from that little figure right there. Yeah, so not very big at all. I'm just seeing if I've got anything else knocking around. I've got a bit of a battered up G2 Constructicon, which of course shares exactly the same mold as the original. So yeah, so nowhere near as big as that, to be honest. So yeah, sorry, not much bigger than that. So, but otherwise looks great. Translucent plastic on the top there, and yeah, ball and socket on the wings, but obviously you want to keep them there. You can move these up and down. You can also move the jets around as well, because they're on their own hinges, and of course if you wanted to, you can tuck the landing gear away as well, but I would advise not doing that unless you've got it partly transformed, because the knees are in the way. So he's got 2 like sort of blades. I don't know if they're side blades or whatever they are, but there's no real way to put them or to store them at all. He's also got another spear, and as I say, we've got the Breastmaster gimmick as a gun, and we've got it actually as the little master here as well. So compared to the original though, much smaller, very small compared to the original. And let's bring in a few other figures. Again, not supposed to scale, but just to give you an idea, that's how much smaller it is compared to your Voyager class Seeker jet. So again, much smaller. A couple of other figures which I've got knocking around here. I've got a deluxe Jazz, which you can see. If I've got another G1 figure there, I've got a breakdown. So yeah, nice and small, nice and compact, and I suppose I should really do this because I've got it here. There is your Earthrise Optimus Prime. But not much more to say about this particular mode, guys. Let's come back, have a look at him in his robot mode. So we're back, and as you can see, he's in his robot mode again. I will be uploading the transformation tutorial separately, and to be honest, this one is one of the better ones. What I mean by that is, in my experience, especially with Iron Factory figures, they have loads of ball and socket joints, which they definitely definitely do need, because again, in my case, they tend to pop out a lot. Now I've got him bare chested, shall we say, which means there's nothing there at all. We're going to do a real in-depth look at him in a second, but I suppose for those of you who are unaware, I need to show you exactly what this Breastmaster breast force gimmick was. So this is the Generation 1 figure, and what we've got here is exactly that. It was a partner that came from the chest area. So if you remember, in 87 we had Headmasters, 88 we had Target Masters, etc, etc. Then we had Junior Headmasters and all that sort of thing. We had Brain Masters in Japan, but then we also had Breast Masters as well. And what it is this thing flew out of the chest like so. It could be used as a gun, so they could fold that over and you could hold that on as a handle, and it could be used as a gun, or in fact it was, of course, an actual little creature, a bit like a minion, I suppose not as much as like Soundwave, but a creature or a character in his own right, shall we say. And that was the gimmick, so that every figure had sort of 2 of these, to be fair. And as I say, if I wanted to, I'm not going to, I would push it in there and again turn it into a gun. So that was the main gimmick, which again was cool. I still think it's cool, and I like the fact that these have integrated it, but in their own special way. So what we've got here is completely blank. Then what we've got is, if you want to pretend that you've got the Breastmaster all folded up, you can see how simple and easy that he's saying that. It does attach square into there, and fits over, so it looks like, they're calling it armor, remember. Now you can actually, if you wanted to, you can fold this up and you can of course replicate that, exactly what they've done. You can move the feet out of the way, you can get the square in position like so, and you can 100% copy exactly what I've just done genuinely as well. So with this, tuck it all in, move the feet out of the way, and indeed just attach it like that if you wanted to. But of course that is kind of fiddly. It is kind of, yeah, it's exactly that. It's super fiddly with these, with the fact that how small they are. So they've completely managed to get away with you not having to do that by creating the chest piece there. And they've also gone one better and given us another one, which is of course the gun mode, but as you can see they are already made. So what you need to do, I would keep, the beauty of it is now of course you can keep the actual armor in and still have the gun attachments to be used like that. So the only thing you need to do though is with the fists, these are nice and simple, you can pop them. I'm saying they're nice and simple, but hopefully I'll be able to do this right. I want the open fists, because what I want to do now, remember with these, because I always forget, hold this part up, because as soon as you put a little bit of pressure on here, it will of course close. So that's what I mean with that. So again, if you take this fist off like so, and then you go and get, now there's open palms, there's saluting hands, etc. But again, unless you're holding that, it'll just tuck into there. And another little tip as well, you need the closed hands or no hands for the transformation process. So if you've got these in and you want to transform him, don't forget you do need to take them back. Right, so before we have a quick look at the in fact, let's have a look at the articulation while we're here. The head sculpt as well is brilliant, very animation accurate, much better than the G1 toy. It will spin all the way around, it will look up and down, no problems. These will go out to the side. You can move the shoulder pads, shoulder extension, shoulder whatever they are, but they do sit neatly and indeed nicely into the top of there as well. They will swivel at the top of the shoulder. Again, if I move that, you can see it's a ball and socket. You've then got I suppose, yeah, shoulder swivel, a double bicep bend near enough, because I know it's just the one. And as you've just seen, we've attached the fists. Of course, they do have articulation as well. Even with all this kibble, there is an unrestricted, believe it or not, yep, unrestricted waist swivel. Hips are ball and socket, so they kick all the way up, part of the way back, again massively hindered by that. Thigh cut, knee bend, ankle tilt, rock, toe tap, etc, etc. Loads and loads of articulation on these guys, and again they look really good. So let's pop him there. Let's go with, first and foremost, these blades size. I'm not even 100% sure exactly what they are. I'm going to just, as I say, go with, are they daggers? What are they? The only negative thing, again, you can see with these fists is that will leave a huge open forearm. But for me, and I say this all the time, guys, it doesn't bother me because I can't see it when I pop the arms like so. So there he is with them particular blades. If you want to get him to use the spear, what you need to do is to take one end of the spear off. You will then, of course, pass this through the hand, and then you can then reattach the bottom bit like so. So he's got that in there. Or of course, again, you can take this out. We can go for the double blaster, sorry, the breast master in his, so that again, perhaps in G1 it 100% wouldn't work because you'd need 2 of these, but it tends to work really well with this guy. So I suppose the best thing is, as I say, you've got a choice, and there's lots of choice with it. I'm just going to have a quick look around. I'm not, because there's all tabs on here, I'm not too sure what else you can do with it. The instructions aren't too bad with Iron Factory, and I've not seen any other reviews online of this anyway. I've just seen lots of pictures, but again, I'm going to be playing around with these lots and doing lots of, as I say, other comparisons as well. So the funny thing is, he's about the same size in robot as the original, but as we've seen in the alternate mode, he's nowhere near as big. So let's bring him in there. Let's just do a couple of other things just to give you an idea of size. So randomly, there's a blockies because he's standing there. There is a G1 breakdown. That is the very, very small deluxe Optimus Prime. Let's bring in a core class figure. So that's your standard core class. I've just messed around with the arms. So again, you can see not much bigger, in fact, at all, than a core class figure. That's a nice small deluxe, but of course it is the, what's the word I'm after? It's the side swipe mold. That's a G1 Prime, just of course the new deco on it. Let's bring in a few other random ones we've just got knocking around here. That is of course the Blitzwing mold, but again redecoed. And of course I suppose we've got to do these, even though it's a third-party company, people still like to know the size. That's your Commander class, that's your Earthrise, but more importantly, especially with this sort of set of figures, that is New Age, which is a third-party company's take on an Optimus Prime. So that should give you an idea. And then just very quickly again, before I do the main videos with them all together, just to give a bit of a sneak peek as to what they're all going to look like together, there is 3 of them we've got in robot mode, and if I'm looking around, 1, 2, yeah, the rest are all in alternate. So that's the one we've got there. 3 robot, 3 alternate. Not much more at the moment to say about him. Yes, there's loads of things you can do with the weapons, etc. But what I want to do is, as I say, save all that for their own video, as well as the transformation tutorial, in honesty. So at the moment, let's bring that leg down, standing back up properly. That's because that's better. There we go. And as I say, that's pretty much all I've got to say about him at the moment. Stay tuned for the other videos. And of course, the most important, combining one. There you go, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. That is, of course, your, I'm going to call him by his proper name first, but then what I know him as. This is your Iron Factory IF EX-66 Blade of Halphas, which is, of course, Generation 1 Liokaiser Breast Force bot, Guyhawk. Take care, guys.